this isn't old hat, or I should say this isn't new hat. This is old hat. We know this in the red pill community, but maybe it should be emphasized. She's very happy from age 18 to 21, right? When they have youth, they're bubbly, they're fun, they're easygoing, they're even easy to get into bed, easy to mess around with, right? They got nothing going on, no kids, no bad relationships a lot of times, although it can happen, but usually, you know, before you hit 18, you're not that serious in your you know, in your soul, in your mental development, you're just not that serious. So when you get older, that's when you get hurt, because you get serious and you realize what you want in life, and you realize, you know, people screw you over and you go through things, right? Which is part and parcel with what I'm talking about, essentially, is that, you know, get to a certain age and they've gone through things, right? And you can start to see it on their face. You can see it in their countenance. You can see it in their attitude, right? And usually it's because their strategy didn't work, right? Now, there's two types of girls riding the cock carousel, right? The first type is the girl who's really just having fun. She's the better type, right? She understands that, you know what, I'm just going to have fun. I'm really not going to try to settle down. I'm not going to try to catch feelings, right? Sometimes this can work. A lot of times it's very difficult, because when you're having intercourse with people, you tend to get emotional. Guys and girls, but mostly girls. Girls are much more emotional than guys. It can happen. You fall in love when you're being intimate with somebody, right? That's really what sex is it's intimacy. Now, of course, you got raunchy sex, which is, you know, sex just for pleasure and just for fun, but it's dangerous. You're playing with poison, because it's easy to catch feelings, right? So there's that type of girl who's just having fun. There's girls out there like that all over, right? And then there's the type of girl who is sleeping around, but she's also kind of using it as a strategy, right? She's using it as a dating strategy. I'm gonna have sex and try to catch a guy, right? A lot of times these type of girls are less attractive. They're below a 7, because 8s and above, they know that they can get most guys, even for a relationship, which is, guys need to work on that. It's not good, right? You should not be settling down with a woman just because she's beautiful. But I admit it's tough, even for me. You know, I go out and I talk to girls and I game and you know, when I talk to a really hot girl and she's actually interested in me, and like she's making eye contact and she's laughing, and you know, it's like she's laughing at my jokes, she seems to be into me. There's something within me that's like, oh man, I want to make this girl my wife, because she's so beautiful. And I catch myself and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, you don't make a woman a wife just because she's beautiful or just because of the sex, right? And it's weird. I don't know if I'd say that's my biology. Maybe it is, but it could be just, you know, out of scarcity. I think, you know, when I think about it, it's usually because I am not used to it. I'm not used to it, honestly, right? It's not something that happens all the time. Like, hot girls are not making eye contact, smiling, laughing, like, you know, it's, you know, like they're into me. Like, so it's weird. It's like, oh, you know, you want to wife her down, and it's like, you got to catch yourself, right? So unfortunately, guys are like that, and women are using that as a strategy. Young women know that. They feel like they're God's gift, and guys put them on a pedestal, but therein lies the problem. Because when they skate by on just their looks, again, like I said, when she's from age 18 to 21, she's got the whole world under her feet, right? Especially if she's really hot, if she's like a 10, even 7 and above is like, that's pretty much God status, right? They're almost like gods walking around, because everybody's looking at them. You know, the male gaze, checking them out, gawking at them, right? Oh, look, and we think they don't notice. Oh, they notice in a split second. They'll see it like that. And they register it as that. Even if really you're not checking, if you're just like, oh, who's that? You know, do I know that girl? She will, you know, she'll register it as if you are lusting after her, because this is what all guys do. Not sure why this guy isn't going, but okay. This is what all guys do. They have this male gaze, and we don't even realize it. It's just instant validation. It's free attention, right? Literally just free attention. Every guy's looking at her. She knows it, and she can see it in a split second. You learn these things when you go out and you talk to girls. You learn these things that, oh, she can tell I'm looking at her. She can tell I'm checking her out. I mean, it's just your energy. It's the way you look at her. It's your energy. It's all of it. She can tell in a split second. So she knows that everybody's putting her on a pedestal. She knows that guys are lusting after her, guys are yearning after her, and this is where women get their power. This is why I make videos like stop validating her, right? This is why I make videos like that, because it gives her free power, and she feels like, yeah, I'm a goddess, I'm a deity, I'm walking around, I'm better than men. There's no question these women think they're better than men. Men are a means to an end. This is why women always want to control men, and they get mad when they can't control us. Because they think, because they get this constant feedback from society that they're God, that they're goddesses, they're deities, and that they can do no wrong. And this is why I say men gotta have standards, man, because that's a problem. You know, that's a freaking problem. So she will fall back on that. So there's two types of women: the kind of girl who's kind of more down to earth, just chill, she's fun, and she's out messing around, she's out sleeping around, but she's not on a power trip, right? Maybe she's got some wholesome value. She's more rare. This type of woman's rare, but she's out there. And this type of woman, oftentimes, unless she gets ruined, which can easily happen, right? You sleep around enough, you're gonna get ruined. You're gonna get tainted. You're gonna get jaded. Your attitude's gonna change. Your body's gonna change. Your emotions, because sex is an emotional thing. It's a complicated thing, man. You know, this is why I say it's better for women to be pure. I mean, people don't even think that that's a real word in this context. Oh, purity, right? But it is. Because something happens when you sleep around. You get tainted. I mean, you can just tell their bodies aren't as healthy. It's a weird thing. Is it the same for men? I don't know. It seems like it might be. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I can tell when a girl's, when she swallows a lot of cum, it messes with her skin expression, her skin exuberance or whatever, her skin tone. You can just, there's something grungy about it, right? I mean, how many UTIs do these girls have? How many STDs they go through? How many times they get gonorrhea? I mean, like that does something to your immune system. It does something to your body. It taints you, you know? So hopefully she doesn't get too tainted, because they're all doing it. You got to understand, man, unless she's super religious and really consecrated to Jesus, why not? You know, I mean, there's always exceptions. There's always that kind of girl that's like, nah, I'm not into that. And guys too. There's guys, you know, I don't know if you call them asexual, but they're just moral, or they just feel like it's gross to go sleep with random people. A lot of times girls will act like that, and this is where their currency comes from. This is where a lot of their power comes from, is pretending that they're not like that when they really are. Like, oh, I don't sleep around. No, they just don't sleep around with you because you're not alpha Chad 10 out of 10. Anyway, hopefully that girl doesn't get tainted, because she probably has a little more to offer. Because she's not manipulative. Right? And this is what I'm trying to, the contrast between these two types of women. One is manipulative, one is more carefree. They're both sleeping around, it's both dangerous, they both usually probably get tainted. But the first one maybe is not as bad. She might meet somebody, settle down, and that can happen to any of them, you know, at any point. But if a guy decides to lock her down, whatever. But the second type of girl is the one who's manipulating, right? She's manipulating, she's using sex to get a relationship a lot of times, or using sex to just control. It's this weird thing, like these girls think they're witches and stuff. These girls think that, these girls think that they're, because it's a power trip. Sex is a power trip, right? But the reason why I mention these two classes of girls is because they lead into how they develop in later years, right? In later years, it changes the way that they develop. I think most women, I don't know a percentage, but I think most young women are sleeping around. I really do. Man, there's some beautiful houses back here. I think that most young women are sleeping around. It just depends on how much she's sleeping around, what type of girl she is. There's a difference between a girl who goes out and fucks a new guy at the club every weekend or once a month even. Like, because after 5 years, that's 60 dudes. If it's just once a month, if it's every weekend, you're as much as, what, four new guys, right? 5 years, you know, you do the math. 5 years, that's like fucking 400 guys, something like that. 500 guys, I don't know. Maybe more, maybe like 600 guys. I don't know the math. Quick maths. But yeah, that's a lot of guys she's sleeping around. I mean, it freaking adds up, man. I'm telling you, these girls, by the time they hit 30, I would not be surprised if the lay count is in the 150, 200 range. I wouldn't be surprised, man. I would not be. I'd just be like, yep, I knew it. You know, I wouldn't be like, whoa, that's so, I wouldn't even, right? So if you take notice, like, go to the mall, go downtown in your city, or go to a nightclub or whatever. These girls are so happy, right? So happy at age 18 to 21. Like, they're just vibrant, they're healthy, and yeah, they're goddamn sexy, right? But take note, and then watch older girl. Like, at a certain age, they lose that carefree attitude. At a certain age, they lose the exuberance. They lose that youthful vitality, and they've got this scowl on their face, right? For a long time, they think, oh, I'm a bad bitch. Like, you know, like at first, they're just so happy because they're like, wow, I made it. I won the genetic lottery. Like, I'm hot, and everybody wants me, and it's great. It's great for a few years, right? But she starts to have sex. And then after a while, she realizes that she's getting emotionally attached to these guys, right? Because it's very difficult for women. It's easier for men, but it's even hard for men. It's difficult to have sex with somebody and not feel intimate emotions towards them. So after a while, she starts to feel used. She starts to feel like, gosh, these guys, you know, they don't want to hug me after sex. They leave, or they kick me out, or, you know, I feel like I'm just being used. I'm getting treated like I don't even feel like I'm cared for or wanted. It's just about sex. Or worse, she's so manipulative that she's not even thinking about that. She's just thinking about locking a guy down through having a pregnancy, or locking him down by getting him to commit to her somehow, which is the worst type of woman. Like, you want to steer clear of that woman. Oh my, like she's using sex to manipulate you into having feelings for her. Fuck that. Get away from that type of, if you can, right? That's a grenade in a fish. That's a grenade in a fish barrel, man. Anyway, but after a while, they start to feel like emotionally that they're not getting their emotions met. They need that intimacy. They need that kind of closeness. They need hugs and love, and they need it, but ironically, they're not attracted to guys who want to do it. It's weird. It's like they want that strong, stoic guy to be masculine, that they can follow, and you know, it's like, I always view it as, it's either like 80-20 or 90-10, where like you are pushing and pulling, right? Most of the time you should be pulling, right? Most of the time she should be chasing you. If a woman is really into you, she will chase you. She will hit you up. She will text you, call you. Hey, let's hang out. Hey, let's do this. Hey, she will do that if a woman is really into you. If not, and you feel like you're the one doing all the initiating, she's probably not that into you. I mean, it might be beneficial to do the initiating. Hey, what's up? Cool. Yeah, you want to hang out? If that happens, then okay, she's, you know, as long as she's hanging out with you, as long as you know, she's giving you the sex or whatever you want from the relationship, then it's all good. But just know that if she's not contacting you, if she's not chasing you, at least 80-20, like she's chasing you 80%, you're chasing her 20, or, you know, she's interacting 80% with you, you're only interacting 20% with her. That's how it should be. That's a good ratio. Any other ratio, even 50-50 is really not that great for men, right? Even 50-50 is not that great. She should be chasing you. If she's all in, she really likes you, she really loves you, she will be chasing you. It'll be, you know, around 80-20. So, emotions, man. She wants those emotions. She wants that intimacy fulfilled after a while. At first, it's all fun. Everybody loves me. Everybody wants me. All guys want to sleep with me. I'm so powerful. I'm a deity. Woo, woo, woo. But then she realizes, well, wait a minute. I'm not getting what I want. Yeah, sex is getting me things. It's getting me guys. It's getting me all this attention. But it's not what I really want. What I really want is intimacy with a high value man. And eventually, she really wants that marriage, and she wants to show off the guy, and she wants that high-value guy, because this is female nature. This is hypergamy. This is the unfortunate part of relationships and human nature, for guys at least, right? Because for women, it's mostly all in their benefit, until they hit the wall, right? And then she realizes at a certain age, oh, wait a minute, my attractiveness is starting to wither. Right, so this is old hat for us in the red pill community, for us in the manosphere. We know that the wall is coming. A lot of times women have to figure it out over time. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to be hot and 21 for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be that hot. My resources are dwindling, whereas men's resources are increasing as they get older, right? So her resources are dwindling, meaning she's aging. She's withering. By the time she's 30, whoa, it's like, you know, women age in dog years. I mean, if that makes sense. But by the time she's 30, like, her sexual market value has plummeted by probably 50%, if not more, depending on how well she's taking care of herself. I've seen women, by the time they hit 27, they're starting to lose it. And lose it in a major way. Like, if she's fat and overweight and she doesn't hit the gym, she doesn't take care of herself, they can dry up like prunes in the sun, man, or raisins, or, you know, whatever, fucking plums in the sun, whatever the fuck, right? You know what I'm saying? 30 years old, man, it's almost old. 35, it's over. Like, at that point, she's desperate. At that point, it's like, give me any guy who's got a job. Right? A lot of times women hit 30 and they're like, any guy who's got a job, give me him. I got to raise kids here. My biological clock is ticking. And by that point, she could have had all kinds of opportunities to have real love, but she was sleeping around, right? There you go. And when she's 30, guys in their 20s don't want a 30-year-old woman, right? 25-year-old guys don't want to date a 30-year-old woman. They don't want to date a 35-year-old woman. At least high-value guys, right? She wants to settle down and have kids. He's chasing his career. If he's a quality guy, he's chasing his career. He's picking and choosing women he wants to sleep around with here and there, being careful, hopefully, wearing condoms, right? I'm not saying that's good for the men either. There's danger there. It's not what I'm promoting, but a lot of these guys with their high value, they got the option. She's 30. He can get an 18-year-old. Why is he going to mess with you? He can get a 21-year-old straight up hottie who could be in Victoria's Secret. Why is he messing with a 30-year-old feminist who's trying to play mind games? He wouldn't. Why would a high value man get with a manipulator just because she's, sexy or somewhat? Who knows how sexy she is at 30 when he can get a sexy woman who's 19, 20, 21. Right? And they realize this and they're like, oh, shoot, I gotta salvage what I can. And really by that time it's too late. For at least a lot of times for real love, because then they gotta settle. Because they're like, well, my options dwindled. Because really what you should be doing is marrying young, right? It's bad advice to say, oh, go have your fun. No, this is what all these young people are doing in today's culture. Going and having their fun. It's not smart. Too much negatives. You could say, oh, you're just traditional, you're moral. Yeah, because there's a safeguard there. And traditional marriages work. Far less divorce. Traditional relationships work. So you'll see this. You'll see 18 and 20-year-old girls have this shine. Oh, it's all good. And then as they age, this process happens. And some people call it an epiphany phase. Yeah, some women do have an epiphany phase where it's like one big epiphany phase and like, boom, oh, I gotta, they just realize, oh, I'm hitting the wall. I can't do this. And that does happen. But a lot of times it's gradual. It's not just one big phase that just happens. It's gradual, where they slowly over time, and that's how I see it most of the time, I think it's slowly over time. And what they're doing is they're jumping from guy to guy. They're jumping from relationship to relationship a lot of times when this happens, and they're sleeping around on the side. That's why I said earlier there's two types of women. The first type of woman is actually better because she's just all about the sex, and she knows that, and so she keeps her emotions somewhat guarded, right? She has the sex. Hopefully she doesn't do it too long, because the longer you do it, the more opportunity to get damaged, And then it's, oh, you know what? I gotta settle down. All right. Yeah, I have my fun. I don't think I can play this Russian roulette for any, really much longer. It's time for me to find somebody and settle down. And even a lot of times in that case, there's consequences. Even a lot of times in that case, it's difficult, but it's better. It's better than the other one. The other one, because she's so, a lot of times it has to do with the upbringing. A lot of times if the girl has a moral upbringing, Christian background, traditional background, their parents are somewhat Christian or traditional, she might have her fun for a few years, but then she'll get out of that quick and go back, and she'll be like, all right, you know what, had a couple years, now I'm back. Like, it can't happen. I'm not saying that's common. I'm not saying I think that's the rare exception in today's day and age, because so much is steering these women to be narcissists, right? And that's the other type of woman. The other type of woman is a manipulative narcissist, and she doesn't even know she's a narcissist. She wouldn't even have a thought that she's a narcissist. But when you use sex to manipulate men and get what you want, that's narcissistic. That's manipulative. You're gaslighting guys. That's all validation is gaslighting. That's all it is. Oh, pay attention to me because I have this, my boobs are hanging out and I'm wearing these short shorts. Pay attention to me. Like, what is the guy getting out of it? Nothing. It's gaslighting. Does he think he's got a chance? No, he can look and stare. That's about it. He didn't have a chance with that girl. Unless he's 10 out of 10 Chad. Unless he's driving a Porsche. Right? You see, so it's gaslighting. It's manipulation, right? Now, I think they're all having sex. But the difference is that the second class, they're jumping from guy to guy, and they're really kind of hurting themselves because they've believed their delusion. They've believed in their own delusion that, hey, I'm a deity. I can push this for as long. I can push this for my whole life. I think that they think for a long time, for many years, that's always going to be there, and it's not. And that's kind of when they hit the epiphany phase, when they realize, oh, guys aren't looking at me like they used to. Oh, I'm getting older. Oh, I've gained weight. Guys aren't, gawking at me like they used to. Guys aren't approaching me like they used to. What happened? And they kind of piece it together. Oh, I'm getting older. I need to settle down. And then that's when that other part of their nature, because they were already manipulative. It's not about love. That's when that other part of their nature that wants resources and protection kicks in. Okay, gotta find a guy who's a provider. And a lot of times it's the beta provider because they haven't built up any quality character in that time. They haven't learned how to treat men. They're still solipsistic. They're still narcissistic and totally egotistical, totally selfish. It's all about her. That's what it is. All about her. During all those years that she's out riding the cock carousel, it's all about her. It's not about any guys she's dating. It's not about love. It's not about finding the right one. It's all about her. She might have love and love and intimacy, but it's not in the right way. I said in a video a couple videos back, I made a video about how women have different tiers that they put men in. One might be just a fuck buddy tier, one might be a relationship tier, and another might be she really wants to spend the rest of her life with this guy, right? Tiers, right? So a lot of times in these scenarios, women will put guys in a relationship tier. She wants to be her, she wants to be boyfriend and girlfriend with him, and there's a kind of love there. But it's not like, oh, I'm so in love with you that I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So a lot of times these women will have these like mini relationships where like, oh, I date this guy for a year, that guy for a year. Women will have you think things like, oh, well, it just didn't work out with that guy because he was a jerk, or we found out after a year or two that we just weren't compatible. And it's like, nah, man, she's serial dating. She's a serial dater, right? Really, the truth is that she really didn't have intention to settle down with that guy long term. She knew his financial situation. She knew his prospective potential for his future financial situation. Girls are looking at that stuff, right? She knows what you're going to college for. She knows if you're going to have a mortgage. She knows how much you're going to make someday. They figure that out pretty quick within the first couple months of dating you or knowing you. They figured that stuff out pretty quick. And if she sticks around during that time, it's probably because the sex is good. She likes you, but she doesn't want to commit to you because you're not worthy, right? And they can also judge prospective potential, right? Is he very ambitious? Will he someday? So a lot of times guys get caught up in that. A girl, they'll be with a girl for a long term because the girl's actually investing in the guy. She's actually investing in him as if he's a future prospect. Right? Like, oh, well, he's going to a good university, so he's probably going to get out and have a good job. So I'll stick with this guy unless I can find somebody better. This is how hypergamy works, man. Guys think it's not like this, but it is. Guys think, oh, not my girl. No, she's special. She's pretending to be special. That's called love bombing. She's essentially gaslighting you. She's all perfect and nice with you now. But you don't know how she is when she goes on vacation. You don't know how she is when you're not around and she's on the dating sites behind your back, Tinder behind your back, right? She might have OnlyFans behind your back. She might be doing all kinds of things. She might have 4 or 5 fuck buddies behind your back that you don't even know about. She might be dating 2 or 3 other guys and you don't even know about it. We live in the age of manipulation, man. We live in an age of female manipulation where they're using guys for whatever they can get, right? This guy's rich. This guy's got a house on the lake. This guy's got a cool motorcycle. This guy's got a big dick. This guy's got a washboard 6-pack abs, right? This guy's got status. This guy's the coolest guy at the club. Don't think they're not attracted to all that. There's no one guy that has all of those things. There's guys who have good qualities. There's guys who have certain good, this guy might be really funny. This guy might make her laugh. This guy just has this very attractive accent or aura about him, or et cetera, et cetera. This guy dresses nice, et cetera, et cetera. All these there's no one guy who has everything, who has all of that. It's just not the way it is. So what they do, a lot of times their strategy is to date one guy for one thing, date another guy for another thing, right? Meanwhile, they're getting it in every once in a while. When they get horny, meet up with the guy on Tinder. How often do they get horny? All the time. They're just like us. They're humans. They get horny all the time. We're supposed to be having sex every day. The difference is we live in a culture that really accentuates hypergamy. It accentuates their choosing process, and it removes accountability. It removes social stigma for sex, right? So she feels like it's okay. This is great. I got everything. I'm a goddess. Guys are worshiping me, blah, blah, blah. But then this little nature trick comes around. Oops, she hit the wall. Age 30, she hit the wall. Oops, right? But you'll see it gradually over time. Certain years in her 20s, it's like she really liked that guy, but it didn't work out, and she's jaded from it. She'll carry that for maybe the rest of her life. She'll carry that for years and years. She'll carry it into her next relationship and future relationships, right? She keeps getting used by guys. She feels like a cum dumpster, right? Well, she put herself in that position, first of all, but it causes her to be jaded. It's part of her personality now, you see? Not only that, her body takes hits. How many times has she been drunk? How many times does she drink alcohol with these guys she's having sex with? Or weed or ecstasy or other drugs, right? How many times does she go out and party and pull these all-nighters? That could take a toll on your body, on your mental health as well, right? All this stuff is valid. It's just nobody pays attention to it. Nobody's like, oh, you shouldn't do that, because it's like, oh yeah, okay, go to church, you know? Like, this is the culture that we live in. Everybody's being selfish. Everybody's going after their own things, going after their own selfish things. And there's consequences. By the time she hits a certain age, you can see it. She's weathered. You can see all the things she's been through. It's on her face. It's in her countenance. It's in her skin tone. It's in her aura. It's in her personality. She's jaded. She's messed up. She's more manipulative and toxic than ever. She's got kids. She's got STDs. Go on any dating site, man. It's just filled with girls like this. Used goods. Used goods. It's like you're going to a thrift store, sifting through used goods. She's great when she's 18 to 21, vibrant, full of life, sexy as hell. But what's she like when she's 32? 10, 15 years later, right? Oh, everything's changed. You know? Even if they take good care of themselves, it still takes a toll, man. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Appreciate you guys listening. Jay Lee with Northwest Podcast. Peace.